Hello, Dyvex. I'm here to show you how to use this new model. Obviously, assuming you've used VTube Studio before, you can just load him on up. And now I'm gonna... Actually, let me unpause this so you can see my cursor. Okay, there we go. I have everything pretty much configured for you. We have... Oh, let me move this into a folder. Excuse the birds. He has a bunch of new expressions, probably more than the original model had. And I just have them currently set to random hotkeys, like Control 1 through 9, and then F1 through F11. You're very welcome to change them. I have a lot of the facial expressions set to stop after 10 seconds, so like when you use the angry expression, it will turn itself off after 10 seconds, so you don't have to remember to turn it off. Same with blush, dread, GGG, pretty much all of them except for all of them will turn off themselves except for the outfits and the poses. So we have, the angry expression, the blush expression, dread, GGG, Kita Kita, the heart eyes. We have the no vest version. So he kind of be shirtless boy with the titty physics. And we can adjust those if you want me to. That's Control 7. And then Control 8 just opens the vest because I wanted to be extra. Control 9 isn't set to anything. F1, crossed arms pose. F2. F3. And so, like, all of his body has, like, secondary physics. F4 is the same as F3, but, like, a look of horror added. Or you could use F3 and then add, your other expressions by hand if you want. F5 is just the right arm, hand on hip. And he'll step based on head lean. F6 is kind of just like an open hand gesture, like maybe if you're streaming something on your screen and you're just showing it off. F7 will rotate his tail to be behind him. F8 is the shocked eyeballs. F9. I don't think I have anything on F9. F10 is the ears going down, the sad expression. F11 is the smirk. And you're, again, welcome to change these. You can change them in here by just saying what key combination you want. Or you can set up a software to digitally do your hotkeys for you. Let's do Control Q. That's the look of, like, surprise, unsettled. We have a blep. It's not perfect. It's a bit of a mess, but you technically can stick your tongue out. Blah. Not perfect, but it's there. We have a wave. And I think that's pretty much all of his hotkeys. Now let me show you his model configuration. We have the default things here. I don't know if you've ever messed with these. But let's say, for example, body rotation. No, let's do the neck rotation. So let's do head Z. Face lean rotation. So it uses the head angle Z. So if you want his head to, like, tilt less, you can set it to a much lower value and make his neck stay rigid. I'm just going to go ahead and leave everything at the default, just because then he feels a bit more fluid. You're welcome to tinker with these. If you feel like his eyes are closing too much, you can change the value so that your input is smaller or higher. This is stuff that you'll want to calibrate based on how you like to use the model. But then the ones I've added are in the custom folder. So brow Y plus eyeform surprise. So like when you lift your eyebrows, it lifts his upper and lower eyelids, like his eyelids physically widen, as well as brow Y plus eye shrink. So when you raise your eyebrow, it makes the eyeball shrink. And I have the eyeball set to shrink at only 0.7. You could do the max. so that it shrinks even smaller. But then as you're talking, you might end up making it look a little crazy. So I just have it set to 0.7 for now. You can also change the input. So for example, if we set this to 0 and this to 1, and I raise my eyebrows. But we're going to just leave it at 0.7, and I'm going to put 0.7 over here. That way they shrink a little bit, like looking surprised, but without going too crazy. We have brow form plus ear rotation. So your input is when you lift your eyebrow, specifically the right brow, but it's tracking both of them right now. It will also output the ear rotation, so it will rotate the ears as you're wiggling your eyebrows. So his eyebrow or his ears are basically controlled by your eyebrows. They also have some physics when you blink. I'm almost tempted to make them more extreme. And you're welcome to, like, you can remove these, add them later. It's not hard. Cheek puff, face angry vein, tongue out, and mouth X are all iPhone only. I don't know if you have an iPhone, but I did go ahead and set those up in case you did. So they're in here, and you're gonna wanna, because I can't test these because I don't have an iPhone. You can tinker with these values to try and make it move less. You can set like do -0.5 and 0.5. That way it's only half extreme as what's physically rigged in there. I will leave that up to you to tinker with, and you can help me, or I can help you with that if you need. Mouth forms. He has full I, E, U, A, O. I don't get great tracking with my webcam. Let me close this. So you can mess with things in here. I need to lower this. So I'll just leave everything at the default, except I'm going to put this at 70V. There we go. All these other things that I should mess with, but I never have. YouTube will teach you probably more than I can. Oh, another thing that we have in the customs thing is smile, mouth smile plus iForm GGG. And what GGG is when you smile, it makes the lower eyelid kind of curve up like this. Whereas without that, the smile looks like this. So there's all sorts of different things you can tinker with in here. There are, but I have most of the extra ones I built in set up already. We've gone through his hotkeys. He's got some physics. If you want the physics to be more extreme, just let me know and I can add more to their output. Technically, oh, let me show you how to create expressions in case you want to make more. In the expression editor, create new expression. For your model, I have all of the parameters labeled and separated by categories. So everything up here below the hotkeys, these are all hotkeys made specifically for either hotkeys, like, you know, I press Control 2 and he can blush, or my controls aren't working. Or you can also set like iForm surprise when the eyebrows are raised. These can be tracked so that his eyelids. So that's what this one does. You can set these to tracked features. You can set these to a hotkey. He does have outfit hotkeys as well. You can take his pants off, although I don't think you really need to, so I don't have one set up for that. But I have, you know, his vest off, vest open, and then this is the arm poses section. So everything here will let you pose each arm individually. So like bicep R, forearm R. And so you might notice that when you're using the forearm, it's below the body. There is one that controls the draw order. Oh wait, I need the right one. So that you can put it above or below. And you can put him in any pose you want. He also has different hand poses. He has 3 hand poses. The default relaxed hand, like an open hand for the wave animation, and then like a relaxed gesture hand. And there is space for me to add more hands. We just haven't added any yet. But that's all he's got for now. And then we have the track parameters, which are things like head angle X, head angle Y, head angle Z. That if you use these in a hotkey, the hotkey kind of overrides the tracking. So like now my head can't turn until I turn these off. But you can use these. So if you want to make him like have a wink, you can save this as wink. I can spell really good. And then now that we have a new expression named wink and it's using one parameter, we can we can add it as an expression down here. Wink. Set expression and wink. There is YouTube tutorials on how to do this. And what this function is create your own expressions with the expression editor in VTube Studio. That's what all of this is. Assuming you don't already know how to use it. Actually, I made wink. Might as well leave it in here, huh? Wink. Hotkey action. We made an expression. And technically, like, the body poses I made are expressions. So you'll just have to say that it's an expression when you do this. We'll set this to Control R. And we'll tell it to turn off after 10 seconds. I'll set this in the facial expressions. So he has categories as well. We have the animations folder, which only has the wave, because that's the only animation he has. Facial expressions. So these are expressions of the face. Oops. Okay. We have the poses. So these are things like the crossed arms, the hands on the hips, the palms going up. I just kind of have things organized in folders that way. It might help, since there are a lot of expressions here. Close this so we can see everything. That's pretty much it for now. If you think of anything else we need to add, we can do more updates. He has a full body underneath here. He's a full body model because I'm absolutely insane. I can tinker with his physics. Hopefully you have an iPhone so you'll get better mouth tracking than I do. But that's like the speed run tutorial on how to use this model. I went through it really, really fast. So if you need a slower video with more explanation, just let me know. I'm just going to go ahead and assume you do know how to use VTube Studio. One thing let me go ahead and show you. When you are using VTube Studio, assuming you use OBS or whatever, for the color picker background, use black, don't use green. Because if you use green, see when I zoom in really, really close, you can see like a faint green edge on the model. Especially if like it's on a black background, you can see the green edge. Go ahead and use black. That way it will blend in with the line art. And make sure you use transparent in capture, and then in OBS, you'll do, actually here, let me just go to this. And then in OBS, you'll do your VTube model property, or, wait, it's in here. The properties, make sure you have it set to allow transparency. Okay, and I have so many scenes. I need to go back to that. Okay. I think that's everything. It's really rough, really quick tutorial. You can pin items to your model. I'm sure you probably know how to do that. If you don't, I can show you that. I can just YouTube tutorials are a lot better than anything I could tell you, though. But that's the basic functions of your model. And if you think of anything we need to change, let me know. Okie dokie. Blah. Blah. Bye.